The cat's in the cradle with the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. How many of you know that song? All right? Man, I did it without my voice cracking. Last week, I was driving to work, and I was listening to that song, and started tearing up. The reason why, it reminded me of my relationship with my dad. 2007, I'm stationed in beautiful Monterey, California, and I get a call from home. It says, my dad isn't doing so well. And we found out he had cancer. And the doctor was so accurate in his diagnosis, he knew how much time my dad had. And my dad is my biggest inspiration. I get my courage and my determination from my dad. But that song reminded me so much of our relationship. When I was growing up and I was playing baseball, my dad was at work. He owned his own optician shop where he made glasses. Everything that we ate was from his labor. The clothes on my back was from his labor. Everything that I wanted to do came from his hard work. When I was wrestling, he was at work. Every one of those precious moments that I remember with my dad, he was at work. Now, each and every one of us, especially you here, are probably familiar with that commute up and down 95. And during that commute, whether you're on the train, the bus, or you're in your car, or you're very privileged to be in the HOV lane, you're thinking about that destination where you're going. And maybe you're going to a company or organization, someplace where you're like, I'm really not enthused or motivated by going here. You're thinking about the meetings, you're thinking about the boss, you're thinking about the employees, and you're thinking, I'd rather be doing something else. And then when you get to work and you're sitting at that meeting where you're on PowerPoint slide number 43, and you're looking at the clock and you're thinking, how many more hours till I get out of here? And then you remember going in and out of consciousness, and you start to daydream about what you really want to do. You're thinking about that business that you could start. You're thinking about the vacation that you promised yourself you would go on. And then 4 o'clock comes, and you've already gathered your things. And you're on your way to the train, or you're in your car, or you're on the bus, and you're rushing back home to get prepared to do the same thing the next day. Now, several months ago, I had the opportunity to listen to Johnny Shelton, the chaplain from the Baltimore Ravens. And he spoke about purpose, and it was a very inspiring message. And I said, Johnny, is there any way I can get a couple of tickets to the game? And he said, no. So I said, is there any way I can share your message? And he said, sure. And I thought about it, and then I changed it up a bit. And when you talk about purpose, and there's an A at the end, purpose A, that first P is passion. That thing that's so deep in your heart and ingrained in your brain that when you're doing it, you don't feel like you're doing work. That thing that provides you motivation and drives you. That thing that you're daydreaming about. When you're at work and you're sending that email and you realize that you've typed something and you don't realize what you just typed. That thing when you're sitting in traffic with your hand on your chin thinking, where is the action? Why are we all piled up here? That thing that you're thinking about right then that you'd rather be doing, do that thing. That's what the P is about, passion. The U is for understanding. Getting a pen and a paper or a pen and a pad and writing beyond the margins, outside the lines with your adjectives and verbs, describing exactly what you want to do. Doing exactly what people said that you couldn't do. Doing what you are criticized about, but that thing that you have that passion and desire to do, to design that dress, to start that company, to make that trip. Because if you don't have a target, what are you aiming at? And remember that we miss 100% of the shots that we never take. The R is for relationships. And I'll share to you how I got here today. I wanted to get a suit made, and this suit was made by Espetos, the gentleman that was up here earlier, tailored by them. And as he was measuring me and I was telling him about my hopes and dreams of being a motivational speaker, he said that there's a gentleman in Stafford that's putting this TEDx talk together, which happened to be Eric. And I started a relationship by telling somebody what I wanted to be. Who are you willing to speak to out of your comfort zone? Someone that can share the wisdom with you and tell you where the booby traps are. Someone that can tell you how they failed so you won't fail in the same way. Someone that has started that business, someone that's gone to New York, someone that's opened that shop, someone that has made that trip. Who are you going to speak to? The next P is for persistence. Not to be confused with determination. Determination is the mindset. Persistent is the action. Being persistent each day like trickling water on a rock and wearing it down. No matter if you are sick, no matter if you are stressed out, no matter if you are overwhelmed, but going out each day and doing something, taking some sort of action that brings you closer and closer towards that dream. That O is for the obstacles. We are going to have obstacles. There are going to be hills and valleys and floods that are going to wreck your day. People are going to talk about you. Your family is going to talk about you. So, of course, your enemy is going to talk about you. Your fellow employees are going to talk about you. And your boss is going to talk about you. People are going to talk about you right to your face. So definitely they're going to talk about you behind your back. People are going to talk about you while you're here, alive. So of course they're going to talk about you when you're dead. That is to say that you cannot allow the criticisms, the put downs to get in your way and prevent you from doing what you really want to do. The S is for sacrifice. Realizing that you have to sacrifice those things that matter least for the things that matter most. How much time are you going to spend on Twitter? How much time are you going to spend playing Xbox? How many times are you going to sit hour after hour in that traffic, Monday through Friday, and not taking one of those days for a mini vacation to spend with the people that you truly love, that you truly say you care about? The E is for endurance. And realizing that to achieve your passion and follow your purpose and your dreams, that this is not a sprint. It is a marathon. Day after day, day in and day out. It is a marathon. And you're going to sweat. You're going to cramp up. You're going to be stressed. You're going to be criticized. You're going to be put down. But you're going to keep going. And that A for Purpose A is for action. Because no matter how many intelligent and super ideas that you have, many of them will turn into regrets unless you put action to them to implement those ideas. No business will come to fruition unless you register it, unless you actually open up a shop, unless you sacrifice the money that you have in your pocket to bring forth your dream. And I have a call to action for each and every one of you today. This box has the word excuse on it. And I'm asking each one of you to put your excuse in this box. No matter what it is. If it's your procrastination, put it in this box. If it's your fear, put it in this box. For 1 week, put it in this box. But please don't hold me responsible for the amazing and astonishing things that you can do while I'm holding on to your excuse right here and you're living life out there. Don't blame me for the tears that you may see in your wife or your husband's eyes, because you are actually not just talking about it, you're doing it. Don't blame me for the time that you are actually able to capture with your loved ones when you say, "You want to go out with me tonight?" When is the last time you said that? The way that you make a relationship last is that you continue dating that person every day, not just after you get married. The way that you stay happy is that you take some time to go on that vacation that you always said you were going to go on. You can afford to go to work, but you can't afford to be happy? Come on now. So I will pass this box around after I finish speaking, and I ask you to put your excuse in the box. Write it down and put it in the box. And I promise you, I will safeguard your excuse while you are out there living life. It will be just how you left it. I will safeguard it and I will watch it. While you go out and you live and you do amazing things, while you open up a business, while you go on that vacation, while you stand here and you tell jokes, and you follow your passion. And I ask you today to do just one thing. Just one thing. Don't find an excuse. Find a way. And if you could do one thing, just look at the person next to you and say just that. Don't find an excuse. Find a way. Say it. Find a way. If there's anything that you will remember about Luke Wright, is that I want you to remember that quote. Don't find an excuse, find a way. You may not use this box, but I want you to use something, and I want you to write down an excuse, and I want you to leave it wherever it is. If you want to leave it in your seat, leave it in your seat. If you want to leave it in this box, leave it in this box. But leave that excuse where it is. Because once you separate yourself from that excuse, it frees you and empowers you to do great things. To do the great things you were born to do. To follow your passion, to follow your purpose. You weren't born with an excuse. You are not an excuse. So do not personify it. I love you, and I want you to succeed. Don't find it a way. Don't find an excuse. Find a way. Thank you.